Well,
It's March.
yeah, it's been since October.
Sorry-ish.
Yeah. But,
We finally got time to get together today.
yeah. You survived the hurricane on the way over.
Yeah, it was windy. It was raining like a mother. And yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Craig Babington out in Iowa,
Yeah.
he lost a whole barn
Oh, really?
from this storm system. Yeah, he had pictures on the Facebook machine.
I guess I haven't seen them yet.
Blowed his barn completely away. Like, holy shit.
Kind of like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz.
Something like that. Not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway,
this is the Should Run with Gas podcast, and we've been BSing for about 10 minutes prior to hitting the record button. So,
Yep.
well,
That's okay.
we're just going to BS today.
Yeah. We haven't seen anybody. Well, we don't see anybody anyway.
Yeah.
We ain't talked to anybody since October.
Yep. And I finally got that video out, last month?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So this will be about November?
I don't know. Hopefully sooner, but spring is coming and summer's going to be busy, and it is what it is. I mean, there's no excuse, but it's just,
Yeah.
you're busy, I'm busy, and
Yeah.
life is busy in general, and we both have things we have to take care of, and
Yeah, like I was telling you, I took a week of vacation off, and
Yeah.
majority of it I spent cleaning the shop up so I could,
and it looks great in here. It really does.
so I could actually just get back to working on some stuff.
You can walk around stuff and work on stuff, and
Yeah.
it's a lot more organized than my place is right now.
Yeah, it won't be like that for long, I'm sure.
No.
But
Who knows?
So you've been working on the Fairbanks for your show.
We have, yes. We got the 50 horse set on the concrete, bolted down, leveled up, flywheel on, building the stand for the support bearing for the shaft. So hopefully this coming Saturday we'll get that on, get everything grouted, exhaust pipe on, and supposed to have pipe delivered Monday for the cooling system. Just run 1-inch pipe.
You got the radiator with that?
No, I do not.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is we're going to set a tank outside
Okay.
temporarily.
Temporary, permanent?
No, I got a 1,000-gallon propane tank I'm going to put legs on
Oh, okay.
and stand it straight up
Yeah.
and use that for our tank. But I ain't going to have time to get that done as well because I got a poor concrete pad out there.
You're just going to get it to where you can run for the show.
That's right. And then once we do that, we're going to run a line down that whole partial of that wall, and we'll have drops in, so therefore engines can sit out in the center and have hoses run into them.
That'll be nice.
And everything's going to be pressurized with a electric pump
Okay.
to push water.
Circulate everything.
Yep, that's the plan. So
You've seen Moni's set up where he's got the...
I have never been up to
You've
his...
seen pictures of it, though?
I've seen pictures, yes.
He made a water tower, essentially. It's pretty slick.
And that's kind of what we're doing with the propane tank outside, but it'll hold water, and then next to it there'll be another tank for air.
Yeah.
For air start stuff. And it's just the easiest way I could figure it out. I was wanting to do gravity feed and all this stuff. It's just be easier just to pump water up through the engines,
Yeah.
have everything closed, and, I'll have a little sight thing on each engine, so therefore I can see flow and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. So
You want to get the little cones for the engines to over cool.
Well, if we were doing gravity, that would be fine.
That's true.
But like the way it's all laid out, I gotta.
Too much pressure.
Well, it's going to be. No, not really. I mean, you can cut it down to the valve, but my lines are going to be kind of high because of the walk-in door and everything else. So I'm coming off the. I'll be coming off the tank to a pump, going up 8 feet, and then over.
Yeah.
Teeing off to several different engines, and then everything will come up through from the bottom of the engine through the top,
Yeah.
and then that'll go up another foot or 6 inches above the feed line, and then that will exit the building and back into the tank.
Okay.
I think it should work.
Should.
If not, figure it out.
I mean, you'll find out fairly quick if it's not working.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, it's either going to work or it's not. I mean,
yeah.
we got a 50-50 chance this will roll the dice.
It's not rocket science.
No, it's really not. But
I'm anxious to see that run now.
I am too.
You posted about having a bunch of VEED engines.
Yes,
there.
there's going to be VEED injection engines
Yeah.
I mean, just diesel, fuel, oil, whatever injection.
Oil engines.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of them there. There was a container that come, I don't know, about a month ago. They had 4 of them in it.
Mm-hmm. Where'd that come from?
England, somewhere over across the pond. 1 left already, but the other 3 will be there for the show, and they're awesome. One's a Campbell, one's a Hornsby, and one's a Crosley or something like that.
Okay.
So those will be there, and then we'll have the big Fairbanks, my little 15-horse going, hopefully my little 1-horse Cummins, 7-horse Thermoil.
Mm-hmm.
Mike and Luann brought the wood diesel up yesterday.
That'd be cool.
It's a really cool, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I've
heard about it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's like the only one.
I've never seen it though.
It's really, really neat. They brought it up yesterday from Tennessee. Dropped it off. What else? Got whatever else shows up.
I'm gonna try.
Well, I got Jimmy's Model P Cummins. That'll be there.
Yeah.
I think Gordon Jones is going to bring his Cummins over.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get the Austral.
Yeah, I was looking at that. It don't look too bad to be dug out.
So that came from Tommy.
Right. I remember when you bought that.
Yeah. Probably 13 years ago now.
I think it was longer than that, to be honest with you. It was hot.
Yeah.
You had it delivered to Tom Winland's little hoorah.
Yeah, it was when Winland was still having his little get-togethers.
Yeah.
And when me and Tommy just backed trailers up to each other.
I remember that.
Off of one onto the other.
Yeah, you've never ran that, have you?
No. And the only thing I did to it, the axles were wore out on the car.
Okay.
And I pulled them out, took them up to an Amish friend of mine. He welded them up and then turned them back down to make them a little bit better.
Right.
One wheel still sits a little bit canted. I'm not sure what that is, why it's like that, because I don't know. The hubs wore out or something on it.
Well, it's over 100 years old.
I know. But that's another thing I really did with that. The engine's like super stiff.
Okay.
So I need to get in there and really loosen. I mean, I've oiled for the last however many years.
Well, we'll have a tractor there with a flat belt if we need to.
I may just bring it down and then
Play with it there?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
See if we can just get it running.
Bring a tent down and stay the night. Holy crap.
Or take the toy hauler.
You can do that too. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. But we're looking forward to it. It's going to be the feedback I'm getting already. This is not going to be a show you want to miss.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be absolutely stupid, I think, in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm starting to panic a little bit.
Well, the last one that you had in the swap in November was huge.
It was good, yeah.
I mean, it was...
Yeah, but see, like the swap meet, we don't open a barn. We open the one barn, but not, but the show is just like, everything's open.
Yeah.
And if it's there, play with it.
Yep. What's the dates on the...
18th and 19th. It's Easter weekend.
Easter weekend.
Because Jesus loves engines.
So if anybody's doing anything or not doing anything on Easter weekend, go to Kyle's, to Kylespring.
Yep. We'd love to have you.
What did I call it the other day? The mullet of engine shows?
Yeah. It's the mullet. It's like the Wish version of engine shows.
Yeah.
We actually, my t-shirt guys.
Timu.
Yeah. My t-shirt guys making tuxedo t-shirts on the front with the Kylespring logo on the back.
That's awesome.
We're formal, but yet we're here to party.
Speaking of that, I need to get the image for the podcast. We may have shirts for the podcast available at his show.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah.
No promises. But
now that I said it, it's going to have to happen.
Yeah, maybe. You're in charge of that.
Yeah.
Well, we lost a good person.
Absolutely.
We lost actually a couple of good people. One in the gas engine world that I'm aware of. Mm-hmm. We lost one in the steam world and the steam tractor world here within the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Paul Harvey, he passed away. Had some complications from medical issues or whatever, and he's no longer with us. And man, that guy, he leaves a mark in the hobby.
Yeah. I think it was Kyle Kentner that posted something when he passed, and it kind of makes you think, everybody knew that went to Cool Springs. Everybody knew who Paul was. Maybe not knew him personally, But then you get to think about Kylespring and how big of a show that is, and the amount of engines and all that is there is great. But what Kyle had said kind of made you think, and like, if it wasn't for Paul, the amount of people that wouldn't know each other, like how many connections that he made inadvertently because of that, like what would the hobby look like if that place didn't exist?
Right.
Well, I mean, it'd be completely different.
I'm so thankful we got to sit down with him and talk.
Yeah.
When we did, and I wish we would have done it again, but
But we got to do it, so
yes, we did it once. I wish we would have got to do it again, but the stories that he could tell of him and John, Wilcox, and Nate Lillibridge and all them guys pulling this stuff out of places.
He's like a little kid talking about it.
Absolutely,
it was awesome.
And you just see the light in his eyes, like if he was physically able to do it right then and there,
he absolutely would.
He would.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a staple in the gas engine community, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But he left a hell of a mark.
Yeah.
Yep,
it'll be around for a while.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, that's all you can do. And then in the steam world, I don't know if you know Norman Kramer. He's got a little half-scale Baker over by me.
Okay.
He passed away. And then the steam tractor world, Les Brower, owned auto salvage there in Lewisburg. Yeah. He just passed away. They're again old steam heads, and
unfortunately, we don't live forever. So.
No, we don't. But
crazy story. This was earlier this year. On the unfortunate subject of people passing away. There was a Harry England.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Harry. Yeah.
If you went to Kylesprings, people would go to Kylesprings. Probably met Harry. He was always set up in the same spot.
Kind of a heavyset guy with a white beard.
Had a white beard. Mm-hmm. He drove a tan or a brown
Dodge
van. Mm-hmm. He always just had some random stuff on a trailer, and he was always there. Where I'm going with this is, I was at an auction, January, I think, and it was myself, Dad, buddy of mine, Wyndham was there. Mm-hmm. A couple other engine guys. It was just kind of nice junky auction. It rained all day. It was just a crappy auction, but we were all up there just hanging out. Harry's there. Where's your Winks, buddy?
Buzz. The buzzard.
Buzz was there. Anyway, so we're all, it's just, cabin fever, having an auction.
Absolutely.
A bunch of junk engines, some things, everybody bid on something. Everybody went home with something, kind of one of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
So spend all day hanging out with the normal group that goes to auctions around here. And I'd already checked out. Tom was a big spender and bought an LB.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. That's the only thing he bought. Brought his big 30-foot bumper pull. Had an LB on it. Huh? I helped him get loaded. I was walking back through, back to my truck, and Harry was in line cashing out. Mm-hmm. Said bye to him, and there's another sale that's coming up, I think, the following Saturday down in Lancaster. And he goes, hey, I'll see you at the sale down there in Lancaster. And I get a call the next day from Tom. He goes, did you hear about Harry? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, he had a heart attack after we left the auction. He goes, had a heart attack, and they found him laying in the road.
Really?
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Like, I was just talking to the guy.
Right.
And then like a week prior to that, there was another guy, a local collector here that passed away. It was complications related to medicine, but he.
Well, I guess you just never know when your time's up. You know?
Neither of them guys are like super old.
No.
No. Harry was still working.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Spent all day with the guy at the auction, and then
his old time clock card punched out.
Was done. Yep. He bought a couple engines that day too.
Right.
So I don't know.
His boy's pretty big into this stuff, and mowers and horse stuff, and
mowers, Maytags.
Yeah.
He was every time I seen him, he lives by the railroad tracks.
Okay.
Same railroad I work for. So every time I'd see him, he'd always bring up trains and things like that.
Absolutely.
He did ham radio too.
Did he really? Okay.
I didn't know that. I read it in his obituary. He was big into like ham radio.
No kidding.
Yep.
Huh. I'll be darned.
Yeah. Like you said, you never know. That was crazy though.
Yeah. I guess it's You know, it's not a goodbye; it's a see you later type of thing. You know?
Yep. Exactly.
At least we'd like to think so.
Let's hope.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yep.
What else has been going on, Chase? And looks like you got a 12-horse Hercules.
Yeah, bought a 12-horse Hercules earlier this year. I said I wasn't going to buy anything.
Well, that's all right.
But
I like it. It's big.
like I like to say, it was, if I didn't buy it, I'd be losing money.
Right.
So.
Big old throttler.
Yep, big throttle. It's a EK, SK, whatever. There's
and for those of you that's watching, I'm trying to talk him into putting it on hot tube here because he's got the hot tube castings.
Yeah, for the 2 horse and up.
Yep, I got the ones for the horse and a half.
I am going to take the, just for everybody listening, I only have 8. I'll have to have more cast. If I can have more cast prior to...
We only got 5, really.
Well, yeah. Somebody already laid claim to 3 of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to have whatever I have left for sale at Kyle's show. I'll figure a price and put them for sale.
They should fit the associated engines, too.
Should.
Yep.
I'm not going to... They'll be just raw castings. You'll have to finish them.
Raw dogs.
So you can put it on whatever you want, but
yeah,
Bill Hazard, he drew him up and
did a hell of a job.
Made a pattern. I did get him cast. Actually, I've had them since October.
Okay,
they've just been sitting in a bucket.
That chimney's the same chimney as what's on a Murik.
Yeah, probably.
FYI, no, it is.
Is it?
Yeah,
he just copied it.
Yeah, because when he made mine,
yeah, he just scaled it down.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew that looked familiar.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
I got a core pattern there at the house for a Murik chimney. And I said, hey, let's take this and make it smaller. He said, okay.
Okay.
So if you need a chimney for a Murik, right here they are. I mean, that's basically what it is.
I wonder if it's the exact same size.
You got a Murik here?
There's a chimney on the other side. We'll compare it later.
Yeah, compare and contrast. I bet that's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
If not, who's going to argue with you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What else have you been working on in here?
Yeah, we started talking about that 12-horse Hercules. That's actually going to be the next video for YouTube.
The Cast Iron Curiosities YouTuber page.
The engine's not stuck.
Sweet. Just everything else on it.
The monkey motion up front stuck.
Oh.
But you can actually go back and it'll turn. The piston's not stuck, I should say.
Need some Croyle or some Angry Farmer on there.
Yeah, Angry Farmer.
Yeah. I've never tried that. So I got to stop and get some.
I got a can over there.
I need to try it out.
I'm hoping, fingers crossed, if he. So he's down. So I talked to him. He's a local guy.
Okay.
I talked to him. It was middle of February. He was kind of interested in sponsoring a YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
But he goes, email me all your information, blah, 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 blah. He goes, I'm going to Texas. He's got a Pro Mod drag car now.
Right.
He's got 2 pulling trucks. He's got a gas puller and a diesel puller. He apparently got bored with that. He's still doing it. But now he's got this, it's a 55 Chevy Bel Air Pro Mod. Yes. And he said, I'm going down to Texas. He goes, I'm staying down there until this car does what I want it to do. So I haven't heard back from him yet. So I'm assuming he's still in Texas.
Still in Texas?
Making passes, trying to get the car tuned in. But
that's all right. He lives in
whether
the dream, man.
Whether it works out or not, Angry Farmer, I always use PB Blaster.
I used to, and it's like when they went like commercial with it, they changed something, and it's just not the same. And
I switched some local guys around here that knew the guy that owns Angry Farmer. They had bought it and tried it, and they recommended it to me. And I'm like, yeah, this stuff's actually.
I just used the Croyle and the Zep.
Legit.
You know,
I've always used Croyle because Dad, when he when they did the power outages at work, you know, contractors come in and you know, if anything's left over, it just stays there. Well, they would leave gallons, like cases of gallons of
absolutely.
oil. So there's that's what I grew up with. Is what Dad would kite from work.
If they can make that into a clone, I would buy it. Yeah, I love to smell that stuff.
Yeah, so I used to use it. But no, that Angry Farmer, I just like supporting somebody that's local.
Absolutely.
And it's not like he's hard up for money or anything.
No, but still,
it's a legitimately a good product.
Right.
Like I told him, I said, well, if you're interested in sponsoring me or not, I'm still going to use your stuff. I'm still going to tell people about it. You're still going to get advertising.
I bought some snake oil stuff off of, you see it advertised on Facebook and a lot, and it's like an oil additive. Oh, it reduces friction and blah, blah, blah. The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
That shit's junk. I can't tell a difference with anything.
Yeah.
I mean, my truck was getting like 16.3 miles to the gallon. I changed oil, put that additive in there, 14.3, 14.4. I'm like, what the hell?
That's not how it's supposed to work.
No, it's not. Huh. So maybe I'll try it. I'll put it in. I got enough for another oil change, so I'll do it again. And it was $30, and I've spent $30 on worse things in my life. So
yeah, absolutely.
Life goes on with that. But another sponsor, we got to give a shout out to these guys. Mm-hmm. Jack and Jamie, they're over in the UK. They're young fellows like we are. They have started a magazine, Stationary Engine. I forget what it's called. Stationary Engineering.
This is a horrible plug.
It is.
Don't even know their name.
No, their name's Jack and Jamie.
No, of the magazine.
Oh yeah, Stationary. Hold on here. I thought I had one in my truck, but his name is Jamie Webster. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. Not really.
But yeah, Kyle's been talking to him.
Say something. Keep talking while
dead space there. Kyle's been talking to him, and they were gracious enough to. We're going to be a sponsor of their magazine, and then we're also going to be.
Yeah, they're going to put a plug in for us.
Yeah, so we're giving them a shout out, and at some point, whenever I get off my lazy butt to draw up an ad for them, we'll be a legitimate sponsor in there, which we've talked about doing.
He's supposed to be sending a couple banners. We're going to put one up there at the Kylespring. We're going to take one to Kylespring as well.
Oh, perfect.
Anyway, it's a stationary engine magazine in the UK. Oh, here it is. Old Oil and Gas Engines, the magazine. Old Oil and Gas Engines, the magazine, established 2024.
I haven't got my episode.
Old Oil and Gas Engines.co.uk.
Okay.
So I subscribed to it. I forget how much it was, $25 ish, whatever. Who cares? Great publication.
I missed the first edition. I got subscribed. I'm waiting on the second one.
If you get a hold of him, he'll send you one. But those guys, they're young. They're energetic about this stuff. They like their listers. That's their thing. They've actually been a huge help to us, to me and some other guys getting stuff out of the UK and bringing stuff to the United States. But
perfect.
Ever since the Gas Engine magazine fell off the face of the earth, this kind of took and this is a worldwide publication, so it covers not only European engines, it covers stuff in the United States, it covers stuff in Australia. Mm-hmm. I mean, it covers basically the whole globe.
Yeah.
And it's a really, I like it. I mean, I enjoy it. So,
like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but like you said, they seem energetic about it. And
yeah.
They've got a lot of postings that they've done on Facebook with some
articles. Absolutely.
And it all looks, really good.
Yeah.
So
100%. I mean, I suggest it. The only thing I can say is, get a subscription, try it out, and go from there.
Yeah. And it's a bi-monthly. I think it's every 2 months.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's bi-monthly. Because the only reason I know that, I seen somebody bad-mouthing on Facebook, I didn't get my magazine this month, and somebody comments yeah, because it's every other month.
Well, you can't make everybody happy, and some people...
That's what bi means, too. Normally.
Yeah, normally, yeah. It's getting harder to make people happy in this day and age.
I talk about that at work all the time.
Well, it's the people want instant gratification.
Well, that's what it turned into. People that live in a city, out here, I still have to wait for stuff to get shipped to me. Oh, yeah. People that live in a city can order something on Amazon and be there that day.
Yep.
Which is insane to me.
Yeah, it happens. I mean,
whatever.
But the instant
gratification.
Yeah, it's just out the window.
Yeah.
Good things come with for those who wait, I guess. But anyway, yeah, no, great magazine. Highly suggest it. See what you think. Get a subscription.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah,
let us know. Let them know.
Yeah,
let them know about us.
And we had some hecklers on our October podcast too. Well, this isn't correct. I went, well, I'm sorry. I mean, Murphy was talking about it, and I don't know how many books that guy's read, but I'm sure he's memorized whatever book that information come out of.
Yeah, we're not
we're not like 100% professionals.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Obviously.
we know enough to be dangerous,
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess that's a risk you take when you're putting something out for the masses. That's why I deal with YouTube. I get so much
Hate mail?
hate mail from,
Why? You know?
and it's dumb stuff, and you gotta be thick-skinned. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, it's let it roll off your back and roll on.
Yeah. Like half the time when I'm filming something for a YouTube video, I don't write a script. It's
No.
off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sitting there. I haven't sat down to. I might have filmed something like 3 or 4 times to get out what I want to get out.
Yeah, but
I'm still going to mess up. So
it's the scripted shows that I don't like. You know, American Pickers.
yeah, that show used to be so good.
It used to be until they showed up at my house and like, well, we can plant this there, and no, it ruined it for me. I'm done. Ponds, all that stuff is all scripted.
Yeah.
Even that show, the Duck Hunter guys.
Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, that was good when it first started, but then you could just tell as it started getting scripted.
Yeah.
It's just like done.
Yeah,
Over
too
it.
much reality TV. It gets annoying.
This is truly reality TV here because God knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, we don't even know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Chase asks, he goes, what do you want to talk about today? I'm like, I don't know. We'll just kind of bullshit and roll on,
Yeah. Well, before I forget about it, I told you I want to talk about getting scammed.
You got scammed.
Yeah.
How'd you get scammed? Tell us how you got scammed.
All right, so when we did that episode last year, whenever it was, or year before, about getting scammed,
Okay.
like a month later, I got scammed.
How'd you get scammed?
All right, the guy was creative.
They're getting good.
This was really good.
I mean, this guy must have lived in the garage instead of the mom's basement.
Yeah, I don't. He came.
Upgrade.
As far as I'm concerned, he lives under a rock. But
Okay.
now, luckily, it was only like $200 I got scammed out of.
Oh my God.
So not very much money.
But still.
It's still annoying. So I was perusing Marketplace like I do every day, and there was a Fairbanks T that came up for sale.
Okay.
It was like a little 2-horse, and it was, stripped down. It didn't have anything on it other than it looked like it had a good igniter, and I think it maybe had a fuel pump on it. It was up in Michigan.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't want the engine. I just need the igniter out of it. So I messaged the guy on Marketplace, like, hey, would you be interested in selling me? And I just took his picture and circled the igniter and sent it back to him. Like, would you be interested in selling me this?
Do you still need one?
No, I got one.
Oh, 6. I got some at home.
Okay,
Sorry.
we'll talk.
Okay.
Because mine's the housing's cracked on it.
Oh, wow. Got you covered.
But I messaged the guy, said, hey, would you be interested in selling just this for what you're asking for the entire engine? This is all I want. Just ship me that.
Right.
Like $200 for the igniter. I said, we pulled out of the head and let me look at the other end of it. He did. This is where I'm like, okay, this guy,
Right.
he pulls it out, sends me pictures of it, and the points had been cut off of it.
Okay.
But I'd already had this other one. I'm like, I'll give you $200 for a good body.
Right.
I'll take all the guts out of mine and put in this, and I'll have a good igniter. So it gets to the point where he goes, hey, can I have your phone number? I'm like, yeah, sure. He calls me. So I legitimately talk to this guy. I'm like, have a half-hour conversation with him.
Okay.
And he goes, yeah. He's like, yeah, I sell Harley Davidson parts all over the world. Shipping it to you is not a big deal. And he seemed like a good dude. So in the time that I'm talking to him, another collector up in Michigan gets a hold of him.
Okay.
This guy comes up with this idea. He goes, well, hey, my neighbor, this is what he's telling me. He goes, my neighbor thinks that he has one of these igniters.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, okay, he probably does, but it's not a T igniter. I said,
Right.
will you send me pictures of it? He goes, yeah, whenever I get back to the shop, I'm not there at the moment. I'm home with my kid. I'm waiting on my wife to show up, and I'll run back down later this evening and send you pictures of it.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, that
Still legit,
doesn't seem weird. So, this was at noon when I talked to him, so I'm figuring, he said this afternoon, like 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there. So I messaged him around 4 o'clock. I'm like, hey, has your wife been home yet? Are you able to shoot me some pictures? And because I'd already sent him some money for the igniter.
Absolutely.
I don't remember if it was the whole thing or not. Anyway, he's telling me his neighbor's got one that it's the same thing. I'm thinking, yeah, sure, whatever. It's probably not. Like, who has a T igniter just laying around?
Right.
So, send me pictures. He goes, I'll send it to you for, this is where it starts getting fishy. He goes, I'll send it to you for what you've already paid for the other one. The neighbor's, he just wants to get rid of this stuff.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, your neighbor has a T-igniter. He's an engine collector, and he's just giving you an igniter. I'm like, this is kind of fishy.
Okay.
So.
Still possible, though.
Yeah, I'm like.
Still kind of possible.
I'm like, if you're going to send me two, I'm okay with it for $200. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
Right.
I'm not going to say anything. So, 4 o'clock rolls around. I message him. He's like, hey, no, my wife's not home yet. Blah, 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 blah. I still got the kid. I can't run down to the shop. About 7 o'clock rolls around. I start getting pictures from him. He had 2 T-igniters.
Holy shit.
He had pictures of the one that he had, that I already had pictures of, and then a pristine one. I mean, it looks like it had just been pulled off of a running engine.
Really?
And I'm like, ain't no way. So I said, hey, send me a couple pictures.
Right.
And like, send them in an orientation that I want you to do it. And he actually just sent me a picture of him holding them both in his hand, a picture of him holding them. I'm like, okay, you legitimately have these two. Send them. So I sent him, I think I gave him another $50 or something like that.
Right.
So he kind of goes silent for a couple hours. Well, this is where the scam is taking place.
Oh.
So
the good part.
So where he came up with another igniter was the collector in Michigan.
Okay.
He bought this engine, went down to go pick it up, which was the reason he was the guy I was talking to was waiting on his wife to get home. Mm-hmm. What he was doing was he was waiting on the other guy to show up, and he had messaged that guy and gave him some BS story to bring a T-igniter with him.
Are you shitting me?
No. So he messages this guy that's buying the engine off of him, that's actually coming to pick it up.
Okay.
To bring a T-igniter. That guy gives him the igniter, and I end up talking to him. The collector bought the engine.
Really?
Because the next day, I kind of started putting 2 and 2 together because he never sent me a shipping
right.
to track the shipping on it. So the next day, I'm like, all right, he's scamming me. So I got a hold of Rosamink.
Okay.
And John and Shelby were together.
Okay.
And I sent a picture of the engine, or sent him a picture of the ad to John. John immediately calls me. And he goes, hey, I know who bought that engine. He's like, he hasn't. I'm like, well, I bought the igniter out of it. And John's like, no, I know who bought the engine. It's all complete. You know, everything that's in that picture, he has. I'm like, really? So what ended up happening is that guy talks to me,
right,
sells the engine to the other dude,
right,
gets the other dude to bring an igniter so he could take pictures of it to send to me to try to get more money out of me, ships everything back with, gives the igniter and all that stuff. So I talked to the guy that buys the engine. He goes, yeah, I found it odd. The guy wanted me to bring an igniter when he had one in the engine, but he said the one in the engine was incomplete and he just wanted to see how it worked.
Right.
So he goes, I brought it down. And he goes, yeah, he took it and he took a bunch of pictures of it. I said, well, he took pictures of it because he was sending the pictures to me. He's telling me that he had a neighbor that had a T-igniter that was going to make a bundle deal and just sell it to me for what I already bought the one out of that engine. He goes, I found it odd. He went over to a picnic table and started taking pictures of it. So I sent the guy the pictures. He said, yeah, that was a table. He goes, that was.
Oh, my God.
He got creative. That dude got creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's, like.
It's amazing for a couple $100 bucks.
Yeah, for $200. So then I realized, after I talked to John and find out that this it was a scam, and I ended up talking to the guy who bought the engine. That guy sent me all the text messages that he had between the guy. The guy that bought the engine called him and said, hey, I know what you did to this other guy, and I'm going back and forth. So the guy apparently that was talking to me had a burner phone. Couldn't get a hold of him anymore. The number was disconnected.
Nice.
Yeah. So I gave all that to whatever county that was up in Michigan, to the police up there. Like I said, this was almost a year ago now.
Right.
I gave it to them, and they said, well, we'll do what we can, but like the guy's profile was fake on Facebook, and
right.
Yeah, they're like, we really. I said, I can give you the address, I can get you the address of where all this took place, and because I guess the guy supposedly was his father or something like that.
Right.
And it wasn't. The police they did follow up with it. It wasn't any relation to him. They knew who the guy was, but Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was. I couldn't believe it. Like, he got creative. Like,
Wow.
Like I said, I talked to the guy on the phone. Like,
Right.
Legitimately talked to him. Had a conversation with him. He sounded like an okay dude. Sounded like he sold Harley Davidson parts all over the world.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. He did tell me, he goes, hey, my PayPal account is down. Can you send me money through like Facebook or something? I'm like, okay, that seems kind of odd, but I'll do it. Well, he didn't want to do PayPal.
Well,
Because of getting tracked that
Right.
way. And I went ahead and sent him, I think $100 I sent through Facebook, and then I figured out a way to do it through PayPal, through Facebook. I was
Right.
able to do it that way. So I got my money back from Facebook for the $100 I think I
Right.
sent on Facebook. So he really got me out $100 or 150, whatever it was.
still, it's just the fact
I couldn't fathom, like, he got creative. He had, get a hold of another guy to bring an igniter with
Yeah.
you, and then take pictures of it and blah blah blah.
that's some creative crap, right? Well, a friend of mine, he needed a radiator, a low stance for a Model T.
Yeah.
Gets on that Model T page, one of them, and says, hey, I need a radiator, low profile. Some dude in California says, hey, got one for sale.
Yeah.
Sends him pictures of it. I mean, just, okay. Well, John's like, hey, he called me. He goes, is this guy legit? I said, I don't know. Listen, let me talk to him. So I started messaging him on Facebook. Hey, because John's the type of guy, I'm going to send you a check or a bank check or something. I don't do this PayPal shit. Yeah. I said, okay. I said, I'll handle it. No big deal. I've done it before, from John before. No big deal. So I start talking to this old boy, and he goes, yeah, go ahead and send it PayPal, friends and family only. I said, dude, here's the deal. I said, I don't know you from Adam. I said, I have no problem sending you PayPal. And I said, I'll add the 3 or 4%, 4% for goods and services. No, we can't do that. We got to send it friends and family. I'm like, red flag. Well, they start saying, well, I'm legit and I've been in the military. I'm like, well, what branch you serve? He said, it's none of your business. Every military person I've ever talked to in my life,
they're all proud to tell you.
They'll tell you exactly what branch they've been in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And what, rank or whatever they were. They will tell you. No questions asked. Every one of them. So I'm like, this is a little weird. So I start looking at his Facebook page, and he's in California, but he's got pictures, Florida, New York. Okay, he could travel. There again, motorcycle guy. Maybe it's the motorcycle thing.
Could be.
I don't know, but it come out to be he was a scam dickhead. So it's like,
it happens.
Yeah, I'm like,
it absolutely happens.
If I don't know somebody, like dealing, I buy quite a few signs. If I don't know you, I'm going to send you PayPal goods and services, and I'll cover the 4% fee, whatever. It's only a couple bucks. It's insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you get your money.
Yeah, I will do that a couple times, or 3, 4, 5 times, until we kind of establish a relationship, and then after that, hey, I'll send it, friends and family, no big deal.
Yeah.
I had an instance here, I don't know, within the last month. I bought a thermometer off of a guy in North Carolina, reputable, quote unquote, seller. Paid him. It was $400. He never shipped it. Like, what the hell's going on? Well, I got on one of the pages, got a hold of an admin guy, and within an hour, I had my money back. Because it's been a month since I paid him. He hadn't shipped it. He says, I've had a lot of stuff going on in life. I said, hey, dude, I understand. Shit happens. Things, I'm pretty flexible and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he goes, I'll get it bought. He goes, I'll get you tracking. I'll get it, whatever. But he sent me my money back, and then a week later, the thermometer shows up in my house. I said, hey, okay. He messaged me. He goes, did you get it? I said, I ain't been home yet. I said, give me, just a little bit. As soon as I got home, I looked at it. Hey, are you happy with it? I said, I'm happy. He goes, okay. So PayPal, right back his money, done. That worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy went through a lot of bullshit just to scam you out of $100.
Yeah.
Like, my gosh. And the thing is, the other guy, he was there at his house. Like,
yeah,
physically showed up.
How about that?
Whatever.
Pays to know people.
Yeah. I mean, we got some people in Michigan. We got Eddie.
Yep.
Ed and Eddie. Mm-hmm. We'll be on their big screen here as soon as you get this posted.
I know, I'll get some pictures.
Yeah. I'll get a phone call or something, and it'll be Eddie.
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah, he usually messages me pictures when he's watching.
Oh yeah. Well, they added on to their building, and I ain't been up here since they added on, but it looks beautiful.
Oh yeah.
They got a big old flat screen out there.
Yep.
I'm like, I would never get nothing done.
I've thought about putting one in here.
Don't.
I know.
Don't.
Just to have some like background noise, but I know exactly.
Just put your radio in and just sing along.
In the window.
Just sing along with the radio.
That's usually what I do. I hook my phone to the radio and I just start listening to music in there.
Because I've been getting a lot of stuff done in my garage. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I've been putting my phone on silent and throwing it on top of my toolbox.
Yeah.
And I don't look at it until I'm done doing what I'm doing.
I wish I could do that. Like I said, I took the week off to get stuff done out here and then plus in the house. And with how my job is.
Yeah. I guess I don't put it on silent. I put it on do not disturb, but I have certain people, if they need me, they can call me. So
that's where I run into issues because the majority of the guys that work for me work in the evenings.
Yes.
Well, it's a double-edged sword.
Yep.
If I go in during the day to take care of like customer stuff, and so I spend majority of the day talking to customers, and in the evening, the guys that actually are doing the work come to work. My first crew starts at 5 p.m. and then I got a crew that starts at 6 p.m. and then I got a crew that starts at 9 p.m.
Okay.
Well, not every day, but
you gotta be accessible.
Almost every day.
Yeah.
Somebody's calling me, and it's about the time that I'm like out here and I want to do something, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. There's been days I've been so frustrated. I do the same thing. Yep. I either leave the phone in the house and I just ignore it because I'd be out here and I want to like film or do something like that, and it'll be dinging in the background, and I legitimately have PTSD from what an iPhone ringer and text messages is. If I hear it in public, I cringe.
Right.
Especially if I'm not working and I hear it, I'm like, oh, a little mini heart attack every time it rings. I hate that thing. Absolutely hate that thing. So,
I put mine on that do not disturb, but I have like 4 or 5 people that if they call, it'll come through. You know, because that towing company we deal with.
Oh yeah.
You know, if they call, I got to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. So future projects for Chase, we got the 12-horse Hercules.
So I guess the lineup.
You finished up the little.
I got a bunch of ideas for videos this year for YouTube. So this 12-horse Hercules, after you leave, I'm probably going to work on it.
Sweet.
I was going to do it yesterday, and I got sidetracked and
derailed.
Yeah. Well, there's friends of mine. They about 15, 20 minutes from here, they have a hunting reserve.
Okay.
Where they do high fence deer hunting.
Gotcha.
Well, they got elk and buffalo and Sitka and huge 270 plus inch bucks up there.
No kidding.
Anyway, long story short, they were shed hunting, and they've been asking me to come up for 3 days. I've been putting them off. And they're like, hey, last day of shed hunting, we're going to feed everybody. I'm like, hey, I'll be up.
Yeah.
I would like dinner. So about 4 o'clock, I was either start working on a video, and that would have been all night, or go up and hang out with friends. So I just decided.
That's all right. Well, I mean, it's getting nicer out. You know, the seasonal depression is rolling off a little bit.
This week was good. This week was good.
I actually got a lot of shit done this week.
Yeah, it was a great.
Rachel's like
week for vacation.
She's like, you're kicking ass in the evenings here. I said, yeah, I am.
Well, and I got my heated floor hooked up about a month ago. Well, you know, I go
awesome.
all winter using a 80,000 BTU diesel heater.
Yeah.
I've done that for like the last 3 years. I think I've had this shot for 3 years. So for the last 3 years, I've been heating with that.
Yeah, right.
I finally got fed up with it coming out here, and every time I go in the house, I'd have to take a shower because it'd smell like diesel fuel.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I'm going to hook the heated floor up. And it finally took me 3 years to convince myself that I wasn't going to do it.
Right.
I did all the tubing in the floor, all that. I'm like, yeah.
Now you just got the tubing in the floor in the shop part, right?
Yeah, just on this 30 by 40.
Okay.
1,200 square foot.
Yeah.
So I did all of that, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of late in the year. Actually, I got a hold of him in January when it was still cold.
Right.
Well, then he ended up getting sick, and then
because the flu's been going around.
Yeah.
Everything.
So he's an older guy, and he got sick, so he never had a chance to come down. So I don't know, when did I have it? It's probably been in for a month. And we've had like one cold. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
You have to try it out next year, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we had like one cold night, like it wasn't really worth,
Right.
To like a good.
Well, now you have to put like a mini split in for air conditioning or something.
I absolutely am going to put AC in here.
Yeah.
Absolutely going to put AC in here.
Well, even if you don't put AC in here, at least put a dehumidifier. Mm-hmm. I mean, just knocking that humidity. We're from the Midwest here.
Yeah.
It's not the heat; it's the humidity.
Yeah.
If you just knock that humidity down, that just makes a hell of just a big difference.
I did notice, like on some of these warm days this week that I've come out here, I may end up turning that thing off.
Right.
In the summer, that way it gets cool in here.
Right.
Because I noticed when I was coming out here this week, I was expecting to walk into a nice cool shop.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it's warm in here. I don't like this.
Right.
I'm like, the thing I put in, I don't like right now because the shop is not cold.
Right. Well, I mean, it'll be nice in the wintertime, when it's 20 degrees outside, you walk in here and it's, 50.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes a heck of a difference.
I have it set at 63, and that's about perfect.
Okay.
T-shirt. Coming in here working in the T-shirt. Because the nights that it was cool, and then I was in here finishing just some cleaning up and stuff like that a couple weeks ago. 63 degrees seems to be about the perfect temperature.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be warm, but you don't want to break a sweat.
Yeah, that's exactly. Narrow line right there.
Yeah, it's
but I keep the house at like 65 year round. So.
Right. Well, we keep ours at 68. And in my shop right now, I use the little torpedo heaters and stuff like that. And once I get the new shop done over in the big barn lean-to area,
okay,
it'll be 20 by 40, a little bit smaller than what I got now. But my thinking is I won't be able to pack as much shit in there.
Well, that's why I divided this building's 40 by 60, and I divided it in half with the sole intention of one side is going to be storage, one side is going to be a shop, and I'm going to try to the best I can to keep it separated. I've done pretty good so far, other than the shops or the storage side is pretty well filled up.
That's all right.
But I have a bunch of pallet shelving that is unused space over there that I need to utilize a little bit better. But
absolutely.
It's such a weird hobby.
It is
when you have to own a forklift and
well, I tell people all the time, I
pallet racking and
if I didn't have a forklift, I wouldn't have nothing. I mean, I wouldn't have none of it. I'd be living in town collecting stamps or something stupid, Well, stupid for me, but whatever. But no, if I didn't have a forklift or machines to move stuff, I wouldn't have.
It's like you with getting that Fairbanks.
Yeah, I mean,
the size of forklift you use to move that thing around.
Yeah. Well, I ended up buying. I found a marketplace deal on a 12,000 pound heister.
Yeah.
Older machine. He had $3,500 on. I'm like, this thing looks pretty good. So it was down by Cincinnati, and I had Josie McQuarrie. I called Josie. I said, dude, will you go look at this for me? I can't get down there. He goes, yeah, sure. So he went over, looked at it. Dude was legit. Gave him a deposit. Everything was good. Had Inglewood Towing go down with their semi and pick it up for me. Reasonable. Couldn't beat it. I ran down the next day, paid Josie, paid the tow company, put a set of tires on it. I got $4,500 in this forklift.
Yeah.
Side shift. I mean, it's just a badass machine, really. Fires right up. You got a little Chevy engine in it. I'm like, hey.
The inline 6-cylinder?
Yes, I think so.
That's what mine's got.
Yeah.
That's I think that thing weighs 13,000, but it's on solid rubber. I've had it out in the summer.
Yep.
In the gravel, it does all right, but I'm afraid of getting that thing stuck. I mean, I could get it pulled
out.
Well,
if you ever come over to the house, and you see the lean-to onto the big barn. There's a section of wall that you can go straight through.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how that got there. So before the show last year, we had the forklift in the lean-to putting lights up.
Yeah.
My dumb ass gets the forklift stuck because it's just a gravel floor back here.
All it takes is just one tire spin.
Oh, yeah.
You're done.
One little rock or you're done. So forklift was sunk. I'm like, shit. So wife was there. Another friend was there. I'm like, what do we do? So I hooked a chain to it. I tried to give it a little tug, it wasn't coming out. So it was kind of sitting sideways-ish. So I said, I'll just hook to it and give her the beans and go on. Well, I hooked to it, backed up, gave her some slack, gave her the beans. Forklift comes out, but it turns and goes right into the side of the wall. Rachel's pissed, getting my ass chewed out. And the guy that was there, he goes, well, I'm out of here. I'm like, well, it didn't last long. But so my buddy Chris, he comes down and he goes, well, you're a dumbass. I said, well, I know that. he said, well, get this, this, and this. And he goes, we'll have it fixed. And so that's how the wall between it actually worked out really well. I wish it was a little bit wider.
So I have a history of putting things through walls.
It happens. I mean,
well, I put a locomotive through our locomotive shop wall.
Oh, no, I've never had that happen, but
I got pictures of it. I'll post on the video for this. But I may have been working at the railroad for like a year, and when I started, I was a diesel mechanic.
Right.
So I started there when I was 19. So I may have still been 19, 20, somewhere in there. No idea how to run a locomotive.
Right.
Like no formal training. We just we switched the shop ourselves.
Right.
With the locomotives, and this would have been like 2007, somewhere in there. Anyway, being another guy, fairly new to railroading in general, we got put in charge of moving some locomotives around.
Right.
So I got one locomotive, a small one. Mm-hmm. When I say small, it doesn't weigh much. Connected to 4 or 5 fairly large ones.
Okay.
Weight-wise.
Right.
And how our shop is it sat lower than the main line that it connected to by probably 15 foot.
Okay.
And the tracks that ran from the main end of the shop were probably 500-600 foot long, somewhere in there. So there's a 15-foot grade difference.
Over 500 or 600 feet.
Over 500 or 600 feet. So it's fairly steep.
Right.
And this is back when we call it switching without air, which the air brakes on it weren't hooked up.
Right.
So there's no brakes on any of the other locomotives. The only locomotive that had brakes is the one I was running from. Mm-hmm. So we're going back in to pull a couple locomotives out of the shop. Well, guy gets on the radio. The main culprit was the radio button. Didn't button.
Oh.
And he said, all right, bring it back 1 car length, which is about 50, 60 foot.
Okay.
About 60 foot. And so I moved back, threw my locomotive brakes on, and it doesn't stop. I got all this weight behind me, and this engine isn't heavy enough to bring everything to a stop on the grade. So I throw the brakes on, and we just keep sliding. Well, we slid, and we tied into the locomotive into the shop, and then the one ahead of it was a slightly larger locomotive than we normally have.
Right.
So it was already coupled to the one we tied into.
Oh, shit.
So we hit it,
Chain
tied
reaction.
in, and shoved right through the wall. There was never a door there.
Oh, well, there's now.
There's a door there now. It was
Oh, my God.
we would have kept going. There was a pile of probably 40 wheel sets for locomotives and rail cars. That was on the other side of that wall. And we probably would have kept going until that thing would have got into the dirt. But they shoved through the wall and hit that wheel sets, and those wheel sets bunched up and stopped everything.
Wow.
It was interesting.
Good thing there was nobody standing in.
Yeah, luckily there was nobody working on it. Well, everybody knew we were switching, so everybody was clear.
Right.
Yeah, luckily nobody on the other side of the wall or hanging out. Yeah, it was a bad deal.
That could have been a lot
So
worse.
So I'm sitting there.
Okay, that trumps my little forklift getting stuck story.
So I'm sitting there in the locomotive, and I'm like, why nobody's saying anything? And the track curved a little bit, so I couldn't see into the shop. Where I was, my view was past the shop,
right,
and looking just out into the hayfield that's next to the shop. I couldn't see anything, so I kind of sat there and nobody's saying anything. I'm like, we should be pulling back forward here. We had to tie it in. I'm like, what? Maybe they're just back there BS. And so I got up and walked to the other side of the locomotive and looked out the other window where I could see the shop. When I looked that way and I could see light coming from the back of the shop where light shouldn't have been coming from, I'm like, uh-oh.
Whoopsie.
So then I got down and I did the walk of shame basically back to the shop, realizing what I did. And everybody's just kind of staring at me like, what'd you do?
Right.
And then one of the guys was cutting power to the building. I took power cables down, and that shop's got a 30-ton crane in it. And the one guy's like, we thought that thing was coming down. The whole building was shaking.
Wow.
I'm fired. I was off for 3 days, and they brought me back.
Well, that's all right.
And then like a week later,
drug test and everything else. And
they didn't even do that. This was back before it was still privately owned.
Right.
And it was the best story that came of that. And, the story of doing it was interesting. But like a month later, we finally get called in the office, and the vice president of the company at the time, he goes, Brian, Chase, have a seat. And we're like, really? We're now getting fired? We've been here a month after this happened. He goes, I want to tell you a story. I'm like, okay, we're listening. He goes, I'm on vacation in a hot tub in Montana, and I get a phone call from the phone when, this is 2007.
Right.
So cell phones weren't like, he goes, I get a phone call on my cell phone that is the cell phone that means bad things.
Right.
So I get it, and I'm sitting in the hot tub, and it was the guy that ran the locomotive shop. He goes, we just had a locomotive go through the shop wall. And he goes, the first thing was anybody hurt? And he's like, no, nobody's hurt. And he said, but we had a locomotive through the shop wall. He goes, my second question was, who the F is dumb enough to put a locomotive through a shop wall? And he goes, do you know the answer to that? And we're like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, the two people sitting in front of me. So a month has gone by, and all, the owner never knew about it.
Okay.
So he's sitting there. He goes, should I call Jerry? Because Jerry was over in Europe, the guy that owned the company. He was over in Europe traveling. He'd been over there for like a month. And then Lynn, which was the vice president, who's the guy we're talking to, he's like, you know what? Nobody's hurt. Didn't seem like the guy that had called him was really that upset about it. He goes, what can we do to fix it before Jerry gets back? Because he was due back in like a week or two.
Right.
And Brian, the guy that was talking to Lynn, Brian was the guy who ran the shop. He goes, well, we've always wanted to put a door there. We can just put a door in and just pretend that we just decided to do it. And he goes, Lynn goes, that sounds like a great idea. Can you get it done before Jerry gets back? I don't think Jerry ever knew what really happened.
Really?
And he was the guy that owned the company.
Right.
And when he got back, he goes, he talked with a high-pitched voice, and he's like, Brian, I'm glad you finally put a door in there. It always needed a door. When we built this shop, we should have put a door in there. I'm so glad you put a door in there. I'm thinking, oh my God.
What?
If he would have just walked around the building, he would have seen the flange marks from the wheels where something went through there. The tracks didn't go through. The tracks ended before that wall. I thought it was a bad deal.
I bet there's a bumper stopper there now or something.
Nothing.
Oh, well, hell, just open the door.
Just open the door, you just go through it.
Well, I mean, things do happen, and sometimes they work out. Your instance with the garage door, mine with the opening, and
yeah, you learn.
I mean,
now I find it crazy. I manage all of our locomotive engineers.
Oh boy,
I do all their certifications to pass them to whether they can.
You've learned a lot since then, I'm sure.
Well, I tell everybody that's how I got promoted to manager. They promote the bad ones.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. I mean, another 5 or 10 years, you'll be retired out of that place. So you'll have your 30 in and done.
I'm 36. 12 years. I'll have 30.
So you got 12 more years and you can retire.
Yeah.
Man, you're lucky.
I'll be 49.
Yeah. 12 years, I'll be still trucking.
Peace.
Yeah.
I will go do something else probably.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean,
unless I'm like senior vice president and
right,
living in my condo in Alaska or something.
There you go. Well, you can do that too. Well, I hope it works out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll post those pictures. Those are pretty good ones.
Well, upcoming shows. I don't know when we're going to get. I know we won't be able to do another podcast before our show. Mm-hmm. It's not that I don't want to. I would love to. It's just I'm balls to the wall between now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be every weekend for me. Kylespring's coming up April 18th and 19th. Mm-hmm. You get Brookville, Indiana swap meet. That's the first Saturday in April.
Yeah.
Then Oaf's dinner. That's the same Saturday in April, but in the evening at Willie and Red's in Hagerstown, Indiana.
Okay.
RSVP with Russell Farmer. Love to see you there. Oaf's, Oilfield Engine Society, blah, blah, blah. Brookville swap meet, Oaf's dinner, same day. Randolph County, which is Winchester, Indiana, they're having their crank up on the same day, which is a great crank up, but it's just the same day as the swap meet. Mm-hmm. Our show's 18th and 19th of April. What's after that? May, you got Portland Swap.
Yep.
That's a good swap meet. Then June. I'm hoping we'll be together before June or May at least.
Yeah, at worst.
Hopefully right after. What we ought to do is go out to the Allman Auctions pre-30 preview weekend of the 26th. We could do a podcast while we're driving down the road.
We can do that.
I mean, it's a good possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, just run out there for the day and whatever, hotel room if we have to. And
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how it works out. Because once our show's over, I'll be...
Yeah. Yeah, you got a lot of preparation leading up to it. And then once
and everything's packed into barns right. You can't really walk through my barns right now. It's terrible. It's embarrassing. But everything's just packed in for the winter, and it hasn't really been super nice enough to get stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to take it out now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at on that. Maybe we got the preview almonds and kick around out there because they got some. They posted pictures up on their site there.
Some nice stuff.
There's some cool shit.
Yeah.
I mean, some really neat stuff.
Yeah, I'd absolutely like to go out to that.
I've never been out there for it, but it'd be fun. I don't know if I'd be involved in the tractor school because that's not really my thing. But
yeah,
just go out and kick around would be cool, I think. And then we can do a traveling podcast.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can do that somehow with the GoPro.
Yeah. Well, I think what we could do, we could just use my phone.
Yeah.
And I have my mics that I use for YouTube.
Yeah.
That thing that I use for YouTube, I can get another mic.
Right.
That way we can get decent audio and just film off the phone.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And
we'll figure that out.
Yeah. And eventually at some point this year, we'd like to do a phone call to Brock Summerfield down in Australia.
Yep.
Light. And maybe we can give Jack and Jamie a call sometime. And
yeah.
Because they're 5 hours ahead of us. So it's 11. So it's what?
We could do that. We could do either of them any time because if we're already going to call somebody in, I can just do a conference call on my phone. Yeah. I could set this up here.
I'm glad you know how to do all this shit because I don't.
I do it for work.
Okay.
I could set a conference call up on my phone.
Okay.
And then I can just call you.
Right.
And them.
Right.
And then we'll just record off of this.
Yeah.
And have decent audio.
Yeah, well, we'll get together here sometime soon because I like doing this and.
You taking anything to Kylespring?
We are taking the camper and the golf cart.
Okay.
My pickup truck took a shit on me. My
the
dually
Ford?
did. Yeah.
No. Not the Ford.
Yeah, it took a head gasket shit on me.
Yeah.
So
is that 6 liter?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Actually, I went to an auction up in Pennsylvania. I don't know, a month or two ago, and it ran fine. It ate a half a gallon of antifreeze on the whole trip. So I brought it back home, waited forever, and then I went up to pick up some other stuff at an auction. I went up to Rosavinks to pick up a Ruston Hornsby engine that I had to have. And then come back home that night. It was a Friday night. And then the next morning, I unhooked the trailer and I haul ass over to Windlands.
Yeah.
Well, on my way over to Windlands, the truck decides to do some hiccup stuff, like driving down the road, just it would only do it here and there. Mm-hmm. So I called my mechanic guy, Brantley, and he's also my T-shirt guy. The guy's into everything.
That's convenient.
Oh, it is. I said, dude, something's wrong with the truck. He says, bring it over. So I took it over to him that Sunday, and he actually called me Friday. He goes, hey, I think I figured it out. He goes, it's going to need a set of heads, but it'll be okay for right now. He goes, I think I figured out your hiccup issue. He goes, come get it, drive it, see what you think. Just keep putting the antifreeze in it. It'll be fine. He says, as soon as I get a set of heads, I'll holler at you and we'll get that done. I said, okay. I said, well, I got to have that done by June. He goes, oh, it'll be fine. We'll get it done before then. I said, that's fine. So I actually have not been over. I got to go get my pickup truck this afternoon. Get it home, so I'm going to drive it around and see how the hiccup issue is. And just keep putting the antifreeze into it until he gets a set of heads. And then $4,000 later, here we go.
Yeah, really.
But, I've put so much money into that truck, you can't afford to buy a new one.
Well, you just put a bed on it.
Yeah, I put a C&M skirted flatbed on it, had all the cab corners done, had the cab repainted, all new leaf springs on the ass end. Mm-hmm. I mean,
that's what that 4-door Duramax I got.
Yeah.
That excavator backed into.
Right.
Clean title. It's not a salvage truck.
Yeah.
I want to do the same thing with this, but it's a single axle, but do a flatbed on it.
Absolutely.
And just, use it as a truck instead of,
I have found that flatbed is handy as a shirt pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just grab stuff and slide it around and put it where you want it, and it's wide. It's like 8 foot wide. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking we can put the golf cart on kind of one side and our generator on and a little gas engine or something for Kylespring.
Yeah.
When we get to Kylespring, they can just unload it with forklift to golf cart, Because we took the camper to Kylespring in the fall, and that made it so much nicer. I mean, it was, you're there, you get up, you have breakfast, and you're there.
Yeah.
It was really enjoyable.
I usually sleep in the truck.
Right. I used to be able to, but with Rachel and Bo with me,
a little different situation there.
Yeah. And we started out with a 6x10 enclosed trailer, Rachel and I did. Mm-hmm. And then we got rid of that and got a truck bed camper. No, actually, we got a little bit bigger enclosed trailer. Got rid of that and then got a truck bed camper.
Yeah.
And it was great for her and I. But then we got a dog. And then had to get something a little bit bigger when Bo came along. So we got the camper we got now. And it's been great. I mean, I needed a toy hauler so I can put the golf cart in the back of the camper and then put whatever I want on the bed of the truck. But with time.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good show at Kylespring this year.
Featuring international engines.
Yes.
I was hoping to, I may still try. It's still a ways away. I got that 8-horse Victor.
Time's ticking, son.
Yeah.
Did you, there was a post on one of the Facebook pages, Leroy out there in Pennsylvania.
Side shaft?
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to see
those things
that.
look awesome.
He's building, what, 5, I think?
7, I think.
Okay.
I think it's 7.
Yeah. You seen the tractors? I met him a long time ago when he first started doing
I talked to him here and there.
friction drive tractors.
Those friction drive tractors are freaking cool, too.
When he had just started casting patterns, he'd bought a 1-horse air-cooled Tom Thumb off of me.
Okay.
I mean, years ago. This is probably...
Well, he bought all Don
17.
Oberholzer stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he had bought that off me, and he came... I was still living at Mom and Dad's. He came to the shop, and he spent all day at the shop there, and he's talking about the tractors and getting them built and all that. I'm like, this guy's doing some pretty cool stuff.
He is.
I'm like, this is pretty...
Yeah.
Building a tractor.
I would love to have one of those, but I can't. I can't afford one right now. It's not in the budget.
Yeah. I got a 7-horse Hercules I want to turn into a tractor.
That'd be cool.
I bought a low base Hercules base.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it, and then that 7-horse Herc that I bought down at the sale down there in Marietta that we were at.
I still think you should just cut them in half and have a twin cylinder.
Maybe one of these days. But I want to take that low base and that 7-horse and cut the hopper and make it tank cool.
Yep.
And then I want to build a frame, just a C-channel or a small I-beam frame. And I just need, the thing I'm really trying to figure out is finding wheels for it. Something like a match set of wheels that'll look proportioned. I want to make it look like one of those.
I would use like a John Deere rear end, like an John Deere H rear end.
That would work.
So therefore you could put your flat belt right onto the clutch.
Onto the clutch. I never thought about
boom,
that.
Boom, done.
I didn't think about that. That'd be a great
You have to, just leave the crankshaft in there.
Yeah.
Who cares about it? Put your block off plate. Set your engine in there. You'll have your clutch and everything right there.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that work?
I think so.
Why wouldn't it? And then you can find an old set of steel wheels for like a John Deere or something. Or
yeah, that's. So I want to try to make it look proportioned. I wanted to make it look like one of the big prairie tractors, like one of these Fairbanks.
Absolutely.
Prairie tractors, something like that. That's kind of
that Dan Ballman out in Iowa. He built that little scale Fairbanks tractor, and that thing is just the cutest thing ever. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's on the agenda. I want to build that with that Hercules.
Yeah, I've been building all kinds of shit in the shop. I got my welder in there now, and
you are now no longer a skid guy.
No, I am a skid guy.
No, you made a presentation base.
I made a presentation base, but at
like
heart,
a legitimate one.
Well, yeah, I'm like a transgender skid guy, I guess.
No.
I'm still a skid guy, but
is that skid sexual?
Could be, yes. No, Jimmy and I have been working on that Harvard Stickney, and we gotta have something nice to put it on. So I built a presentation base. Literally stole the idea right off of Wayne Grinning's YouTube page with his Crosley KB.
Yeah.
Built it just like that, 5-inch C channels, fork pockets, walnut wood, the whole 9 yards.
It looks good.
It does.
Looks real good.
I finally got it done, painted it up, and put helmsman on it. Took it outside, let the sun hit on. Looked beautiful. Set it down. Bo jumps on it, muddy feet. Whatever.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's fine.
Will that Stickney be done for the show?
No, we're hoping for August Portland show.
Okay.
We're hoping to have it done for then, so Jimmy can take it up there and display it. So
that'd be cool.
We'll see. We got to have the cylinder board. We got the sleeve. The cylinder, like the little legs that come down, has got a couple cracks we're worried about. So we're going to pin those. Unfortunately, we're going to paint it because it's pitted in several areas. The crankshaft he turned down parts where the bearings would sit. It's all kind of pitted, so we're going to use a little bit of body filler there. But we're hoping to have it running by then. There's still some igniter stuff we need to find and get made, but I think we're just going to shove a spark plug in it and just make it a buzz box for right now. And I mean, we got the hot tube.
I was going to say, why not run it on a hot tube?
Well, we got all that stuff, but we're kind of worried about the hot tube with the gas tank being right above the hot tube. And I know, but I'm not really worried about as much as Jimmy is. Poor Jimmy, he's already missing 2.5 fingers, so he don't even be missing anymore.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, hopefully, this coming week, Austin's coming this way.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the cylinder to him. Hopefully, he can get it done soon and go from there. I mean,
he's going to deliver them down to your show. The 8-horse Patton Brother mixers that I had cast.
Oh, nice.
He's got them.
Okay.
He said he'd have them done for your show. So if anybody, I shouldn't say if anybody needs one. I'm probably going to have, I had 5 made. I think 3 are spoken for. So I think I have 1 left over.
Okay.
If anybody needs a 8-horse natural gasoline mixer
cool.
for a Patton.
Absolutely.
I'll have one. And I have the patterns to make more.
Right.
So if I need to cast them again, they're probably going to be around $500-$600 a piece.
Well, you don't know until you know, you know.
That's going to be with basically what I have in them.
Right. Just making them available.
Yeah. And like I said, I got patterns now, so if we ever need to cast anymore.
Absolutely.
Because they're hard to come by. Usually you see those 8-horse patents that somebody's cobbled a
Model T
Lunkenheimer on or a Model T carb or something crazy on there. So Tom Geyer was kind enough to let me borrow one.
Well, he saved my ass. Captain Oilfield saved my ass yesterday. I was looking for an 8-inch elbow, and I called everywhere. I called everybody, and man, they're expensive.
Looked like a brand new elbow.
It is. I said, I called him. I said, Tom, this is what I'm looking for.
5-finger discount somewhere?
Well,
don't ask questions.
Yeah, pretty much. His company happened to have one laying around, new old stock, and they I guess it was on a previous job or something. So they said get rid of it. He said,
gone.
No problem.
Yeah.
So he brought it up yesterday. It was pretty cool of him. I appreciate that. It cost me a T-shirt, which hey, I'm tickled.
Perfect.
So now I just got to get the flange in orientation and try to get that welded up level somehow. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but yeah, just do your best and caulk the rest.
Yeah. Well, the grinder and paint makes you the welder you ain't.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of grinder, I got my finger into a flap wheel yesterday. I took a big old chunk out.
Yeah, it did.
Ah, that hurts. Those little sandpaper flap wheels are badass until you get them on your hands.
Yeah.
Should have been wearing gloves, I guess.
I wouldn't really call it a fear. I have respect for a 4-inch angle grinder.
Oh, I do too.
I can't tell you how many times I've got my fingers caught up in them. Mm-hmm. I got a scar on my left leg. I was using my knee to hold a piece of plate steel down.
Yep.
And I was cutting it. I was in like, I may have been a sophomore in high school or something.
Right.
I was fairly young. And lo and behold, use a C-clamp to hold a piece of metal down. Mm-hmm. I'm using my knee. Grinder kicks.
Yep.
Goes right into my leg.
Gets a hold of you.
Yep. Bleeding all down my leg.
I'm
had to get stitches for that one.
The ones that scare me the worst are like those little thin cutoff. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, if you just get them in a little bind or something, they just blow apart.
Yeah.
It's like, whew, you put your safety squints on.
Yeah. We both know a guy that had one blow apart and take part of his jaw off.
Yeah. We do.
Dale.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a walking disaster anyway. I mean, he could literally be walking through an empty field and get hurt somehow. Mm-hmm. So, whatever.
Yeah, he's not had the greatest of luck there.
No, he hasn't. Well, I'm going to get my ass back on the road and head back home and get something done. My nephew's birthday's, it was the other day. We're going to celebrate. He's 18 now. So,
oh, wow.
Boy's into dent side trucks and putting the Cummins in a dent side.
Oh, yeah?
Diesel fuel and women, you know how it is.
I do. It's horrible.
So we're having a little birthday party for him this evening, and
that'll be good.
Yeah, and I'm working on getting some stuff done around the house.
Well,
looks like it's somewhat sunny outside.
Yeah. Well, when you get out of here, I'm gonna probably start tearing in this Hercules and try to get a video on the YouTube.
Well, it was great to talk to you. Great to talk with you, and
we haven't seen each other since
October.
Kylespring.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, this life is busy, and I think everybody understands that.
Yeah. We do want to be a little bit more consistent with podcasts.
Yep.
So I don't know if that'll actually happen or not.
Well, we're trying our best here.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd like to sit down with some other people and talk. Some other collectors, and hopefully we can do that this summer.
Well, like you said, do Brock and
Yep.
Jack and
Jamie.
Jamie. I was going to call him Jimmy. Jamie.
Yep.
Them get a different perspective to collecting from across the world.
Yeah.
So
we can make it happen.
Do that, and a couple other people I know we'd like to talk to. Probably do something at Kylespring again.
Yep. Planning on it. Now I don't know if I'll be at Kylespring in October.
I don't know if I will either.
Because we're planning on going to Rough and Tumble in August.
So me and Dad's talking about going too.
Well, we're considering going to Rough and Tumble in August.
Yeah.
So, yes, being self-employed, everybody says, "Well, you can take all the time you want." No, I can't.
You never make any money.
Well, if I leave, the whole place burns to the ground.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about going to Rough and Tumble in August for their big show out there. Mm-hmm. So maybe we can do a podcast out there if we all go.
Yeah.
But
Dad wants to go to a large show. He wants to either go there or Mount Pleasant.
I've never been to Mount Pleasant. Heard it's great.
I'm going to take a week off, and me and him just going to hop in the truck and go.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. I wish my dad would do that. I mean, he just won't. But we're thinking about going to Rough and Tumble and skipping fall Kylespring. Yeah.
So I'm thinking of skipping, not for that reason. I'm thinking of skipping fall Kylespring so I can pay a little bit more attention down here
education of
to the education of yesterday's show down in Dresden.
Well, and see that's a possibility because that's a 2-hour drive versus a 6-hour drive. So we might just be able to come over to.
Well, you might want to come up because we're working on getting a 6-cylinder Fairbanks up there.
Nice.
It's over in Port Washington, Ohio, which is about a half hour from where the show is.
Okay.
Harrison County Coal Society has the engine, and they've agreed to loan essentially it to the Dresden show.
Okay.
So I think it's going to end up there sometime this summer.
Be cool.
We'd like to get it under roof before the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Probably won't be running. I don't know. Depends on what my schedule looks like.
Right.
There's a couple guys close to here that kind of know how to work on that larger stuff. So if I can get them corralled to come up for a couple days.
Right.
It's a big 6-cylinder Fairbanks diesel, 2-stroke. Same thing you have.
Just 5 more cylinders.
5 more cylinders.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're usually fairly simple to get running again.
Yeah.
It's been sitting under roof for quite a while. The roof's come off the building now, but
right.
It's going to end up down there, which I think is going to be kind of neat because I never leave anything there like permanently.
Right.
But if they get that there, then it might persuade me to take some of the larger oil field engines that I have down there and leave them. And I got a reed. I think I talked about this before. Mm-hmm. I bought a reed with the intentions of taking that reed there with the power and some grasshopper jacks and actually setting up a shackle line in a building and everything.
Right.
Like kind of like what I got back in the woods here. So we get that 6-cylinder move there. I was supposed to meet with the guy that's helped kind of putting all this together so we can figure out exactly where we're going to put it. Mm-hmm. And I want to put it someplace where there's some room for expansion.
Absolutely.
Because if that goes over well,
right,
then I can move some more stuff down there, some larger stuff, get it out of here and move it down there. And
right.
Well, like a Patton Brothers behind you with that was going to go in the woods.
Right.
But with things.
Life happening.
Yeah, with life happening. I'm still going to get that Patton running. It may end up down there.
Okay.
So I don't.
Well, we can always put you a shed up at Kylespring too.
Yeah, we could do that. Well, and I got that other that 2-cycle Patton that's in the building. I still got to get moved here. That is getting moved here. I got a spot literally like 50 foot from here. Mm-hmm. That building, that engine's going to go.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Too many projects.
It's all right. Let's start getting them done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm on the road.
All right.
Until next time.
At least this one wasn't 3 hours. I can edit this pretty quick.
That's fine. Do what you can do and go from there.
Well, like you said, you want to get on the road. So until next time.
Yep.
Go out and get your hands dirty and let us know how we're doing. If there's things you want us to talk about or anything like that.
And we'll try to be more consistent.
Yeah. if we got to call them in or whatever we got to do, but
we'll figure it out.
Figure something out. So, yeah, let us know if there's
Hope to see you guys somewhere down the road.
any topics you want us to talk about, or anything like that. Comment.
Yeah.
As you do. There's a Facebook page. If you don't know that already, there's a Facebook page.
Yeah, you send us some hate mail.
Yeah, you can tell us how bad we're doing, that we're wrong.
Yeah, and that's fine too. Constructive criticism.
Exactly.
Criticism.
Criticism.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
See ya.
Yep, later. We'll shut up now.
Bye.